Hi, in this video we are going to see about information systems. So definition, if you see of an information system, it is a set of interrelated components that collect, manipulate, store and disseminate data and information. And provide a feedback mechanism to meet an objective. So it collects, does all the changes in the data and information, also provides a feedback to meet the objective. So this is the definition of an information system. Then examples, we will see a few examples. First one is supply chain management. So this is an example of your information system. So this system is for managing the flow of goods and services that involve movement and storage of raw materials, work in progress, inventory, finished goods. Okay, so for all these we need an information system called supply chain management. Second one, customer relationship management. It manages communications and marketing initiatives directed at the customers. Geographical positioning system, GPS, I need not tell you, you are using it many times. It provides driving directions and decide locations. ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. It's a system used to integrate the management of all internal and external information across the entire organization. So these are some of the examples that we saw. Next, parts of information system. So we have especially 4 parts: input, processing, output and feedback. So input, processing, output and feedback, again it changes. So this process goes on. So feedback is necessary for improving the system, enhancing the system. So this comes under the inner part. So outer part, if you see, you have the people, the software, hardware, data is stored in the database, you have a network, again people using the network. So this is the outer part and this is the inner part. First one is input. So input is an activity of gathering and capturing raw data. So for example, in an online student information system, instructor has to submit the detailed information about the students before summary of the student information can be compiled. So you need to have every detail of all the student before a summary is created. Then processing, converting or transforming data into useful output. So processing can involve making calculations, comparing data, taking alternative actions and storing data for future use. For example, in a tax management system, the tax needs to be calculated by using the data such as gross salary, insurance and other deductions and so on. Okay, so processing data into useful information is critical in business settings. So using all these informations, so whatever the input that we have got, we have to process all the input and start getting the output. So processing can be done manually or with computer assistance. After processing the data, results are typically stored in storage. Now comes the output. Output involves producing useful information in the form of documents or reports. For example, in an online banking system, the report is getting generated on the transactions, right? A report can be generated on transactions and it can be presented to the customer in the form of bank statements. Okay, so this statement will show the details of all the transactions and also the available balance in the account, which is current available balance. Then comes the feedback. For information system, feedback information of the system, feedback is the information from the system which is used to make changes to the input or for processing activities. For example, errors or problems that occur when the user is using the system might make it necessary to correct the input data or change a process. So these errors or problems that occur are reported as feedback. So consider a payroll example. Perhaps the number of hours an employee worked was entered as 400 instead of 40, right? So this is an error that has occurred. So this has to be given as feedback and the input has to be changed. Okay, So feedback is very important to managers or decision makers in order to modify the system.